YouTube, and welcome to another general vlog video. Today I'm just going to give you an update on my kitchen remodel. I started Christmas night about 3 weeks ago. I think 3 weeks ago tomorrow, 21 days tomorrow. And I'm not anywhere where I wanted to be. I'm going to keep you updated and show you some of the problems I've run into, some of the things that I've done. Anyways, we'll start with here. I did finish my closet. Well, the outside of it's finished, except for the door's not painted exactly right yet. I'm going to have the white in it, that as you can see there. But anyways, that's going to house my trash can, my broom, my mop, my Swiffer, things of that nature. Anyways, if you'll remember in the video, I showed you how to texture, or how I texture. And it's painted, and you can barely even see it. I did it real lightly. Did the ceiling. I have not painted the ceiling yet. But a few of the things that I've done that's changed. This is, of course, where the refrigerator goes. There's a new plug there, which I've already got all the paint on, so I can take that off. Probably put the plug cover on it. I still have to replace the plug here. It's an old one. It doesn't have the ground or anything, and it's kind of aggravating. If you'll remember, that was horizontal. I moved it vertical. I don't know why. It just looks better to me. I did have the window frames already done the last video. Anyways, basically what I've done, I've textured everything. I even textured under here. And the reason being is that my table will either set there where those doors and buckets are, or it'll set there. It can go either way, and I move it either way. Well, I like to look up, and when I do, I don't want to see that. I still have not done anything cabinet doors. I did, however, I don't know if I showed this in the last video, there was never cabinet doors up here, so I had to add all of these. Even though this in here looks crooked, it shows square with a square. It measures out right, but it still, when I'm sitting back at the bar, it looks crooked. Anyways, the doors, I've already had them pre-hung up there. They look good. We'll get into the doors here in a little bit. Once again, I did the, see, you can see me in the shadow. I did the window frame. It's not painted or anything. Well, it's primed. The walls are already all painted. 3 coats. Face of the cabinets, bottom of the cabinets. The inside of the cabinets have 3 coats of white on them. Same way up here. I did decide to go ahead and build my microwave in. And I'll get to that here in just a second. But you can see I had to add a plug up there for the microwave. Everything in there is all nice and clean and white. I didn't want to, well, it's not that I didn't want to. I can't afford to just rip these cabinets out and buy all new cabinets. So I wanted to give them a facelift without it costing anything. So this is basically what I've come up with. Anyways, I also went to Restore and found a range hood. Now, if you say, hey, that looks kind of low to me, well, it is. It's about 2 inches lower. They call for like 18 to 21 inches, and I have 17 inches. So I'm 1 to 3 inches lower than normal. But that beat cutting out and going into the cabinets, and I have to cut the cabinet doors, and I don't really care. So let's talk about this ugly backsplash. This was my idea. That it wasn't necessarily I was trying to save money, although I was trying to save money. I wanted to try something different. This is corrugated roofing material like you would find on a pole barn, grandpa's old shed, garage, whatever. Rain falls on it, sounds beautiful. I did my workshop in it, the roof of it, and I had some left over. A little different design than this. And I made it my headboard, which I'll show you eventually once I get everything organized. And I liked it. Well, they didn't have that pattern in stock, so I ended up buying this. And I even continued it down back behind the bar. The trim that you see around it, the reason that I did that is because, like I said, this is corrugated, and you can see, you know, it needed something to set on. I didn't want it setting directly on the cabinet or counter, or go up up to the cabinet. So that is nothing more than furring strips. I think they're called 1x3s. They measure like 3/4, half inch, 3/4 by 1.5, 1 3/4. They are like $1.33 a piece. So I did that. I did not sand them. They come with a kind of a rough side and a smooth side. I turned the smooth side out. Painted them, 3 or 4 good coats on that. I even did back where the stove goes. I mean, why not? I still have to take the masking tape off. You can see the floor is kind of nasty because it's getting hardwood floor. And I'm not going to rip this sticky tile up because it doesn't come up correctly. I would have to heat every one. One of the things that I mentioned in my past videos is this is where my pots and pans are stored. And that shelf was about 6 to 8 inches lower than what it is. And I just kind of basically cut it in, we'll get into that here in just a second. I raised it up to make it half of the cabinet. Excuse me. As we know, in mobile homes, they do not build cabinets and bring them in. They actually build the cabinets onto the wall. There's no back. Matter of fact, let's go up here because you can see the paneling. There's no back and there's no top. That's just the ceiling, same as out here, except for that's not textured. They just kind of build them onto the walls. Well, when I first moved here, that microwave was sitting right there in that corner. About right there. And it takes up quite a bit of the space. So I decided that I wanted that counter because that is the only countertop that I have right there. You can see where I have to fix it. So I would really like to have that countertop. So I built that in. Well, upon moving that microwave, I noticed that it didn't look level. The back corner, once again, right there, that back corner looked like it dropped about half an inch. Well, come to find out, it dropped about 2.5, 2 3/4 inch, almost 3 inch of a drop, unlevel, from the factory. I could tell easily that it was from the factory. Nobody did that. It was from the factory. No rotten floors, no nothing. They just goofed up. Anyways, so I have the front piece off of it because, as you see, where I had to bring it up, I don't even, you can't see because I textured. I had to bring the front up. I had to cut the wall out here and bring it up. That needs to be all cleaned up. But anyways, there it is. Cabinet doors we'll get to here in a minute. Now down here, and I know everybody's going to yell at me for using OSB. It was what I had. I know I should have used plywood. I couldn't use Luan. I did use Luan in one spot, which is like a 1/4 inch plywood. It's more like a paneling. But anyways, all this gets shelf liner. This was the big ordeal here. Basically what had happened was every time I come over here to where my stove is, and I'm like I am now, oh my God, he's on a job site with bare feet. No, I'm not. I'm at home. My feet would absolutely freeze. The guy that lived here, well, nobody's actually really lived here, but the guy that owned it quite a while back actually hired another guy in here to add another register. There's 2 registers in this little 10x10 kitchen. What they didn't seem to realize is there used to be a window back here that looked into my neighbors, and I didn't like that, so I got rid of it. I keep trying to zoom this thing. Anyways, that window had leaked, and that all that wall back in there was rotten. Well, they knew it, so they cut it out. And they crudely put in some paneling, no insulation. They left the gap in the floor from the wall out, which is only 1.5 inches. These are 1.5 inch walls. there was a big gap. I could see daylight. Cold air was flooding in. So I had to rip all the floor, not this, down below this, there's another floor. I had to rip out the whole sub, now, this part. I had to rip out all of it, which it was just laying in there. It wasn't even in there good. I insulated, that's where all my water lines are, and it's where the original drain line was. The original drain goes, I don't know if you can see it under there or not, but there it is. You can see where I cut it off. They basically, all the water lines and drain lines are in the house trailer. They run horizontal through my living room, through my 2 spare bedrooms, through my bathroom, in this little box I've showed before in another video, and we're not going to be able to see it because I got everything in the way. I have a refrigerator in my living room. Anyways, plumbing is about the easiest thing in the world. There's 2 things to remember. Shit don't run uphill, and paydays are on Friday. Well, when you put your drain level with the floor, it's not going to drain, and it's going to freeze. Anyways, everybody knows that, except for the person that did this. So it got all new drain, and under this floor, this is the reason I didn't end up using the Luan. Under this floor is my water lines and my drain and everything. I couldn't run a lot, because Luan's 1/4 inch thick. I couldn't run a lot of beams across to help support that. So I needed something. What I should have done is went and bought a sheet of plywood. I'm cheap. I'm frugal. I don't have the extra money right now. I had that. Once it gets the paper on top of it, you'll never notice it. It's sturdy. It's clean. I did add a little shelf right there. Yeah, you can see that old cast iron drain line. Well, actually, that's the vent pipe going up. That I did do out of Luan, and I had to do 2 pieces because I couldn't get anything else in there. That's just, I had the material sitting there on the floor and I put it in. Same way over here. You can't see because I have my paint and stuff in there. But this, kind of a weird story here. Get down here where I can show you. Right here, this ended. The floor did. Well, my drawers go here. Well, that left a large gap in there that had nothing. When I pulled the old floor out, I found 2 cans of corn. I don't know how old they were. I know they were over a 1.5 years old because I've been here that long, and they weren't mine. And I found 2 rotten potatoes. Once again, were not mine. Never smelled them. Anyways, I redid all this, painted all back in there, nice and clean. Textured the front of the cabinets, as you can see. Actually, you can't really see it really good because I didn't texture heavy. So that's where we are on this. The floor, I had to pull out the wall. I had to redo back in here. All of that, it eats up time. You know, I haven't really run across anything. Of course, I wasn't planning on putting up the range hood. I wasn't planning on moving the microwave. I wasn't planning on getting this deep into this backsplash. I like it better now that I have the white trim around it. Let me back away from it. It is shiny. Another thing that I had to do before I put the backsplash, I had to tear the wall out so I could redo all the electrical. Now this plug is in its original location. But you see that little red light? It's actually shining from this little red light. Shines onto that metal. I ain't going to worry about it. Anyways, that was just a double plug. I ended up changing it because I bought these awesome little lights, and I don't want to blind you guys, but I bought these awesome little lights from Walmart. $10 each. I need to do a review on them. These are the coolest things. I just don't like the way they have the on and off switch on the plug itself, and I don't like that. So I put a switch to here. Now that's what operates, and I'm just doing that right here. Yes, I know they're upside down. See my ground? I did that because if I got something plugged in up here, I will be fudging with the cord trying to turn it on and off. So I flipped them upside down. I want to do a review on these, and all I did was basically went right through the cabinet. I added a floor. This had a lip, like this lip up here, except for it was upside down. Every time I tried to slide a glass out, I couldn't. I had to lift it up, pull it out. Not a big deal. I needed a place to run wires. So I added this, I call it a fake floor. So I had to do all of that. There used to be a plug right here, right behind the stove. Don't know why. It kind of makes sense because maybe if you're running a mixer or something on your stove. I don't mix on my stove, so I don't know. So I moved it over to here because this is where the microwave was, and I had to run clear over to here, across the stove, and up there to plug it in. Well, I did the same thing. I went and bought another one of them lights. Once again, I don't want to blind you. And I know, yes, you can see gap in between there. And that's because of the texture. I could push it up a little bit more, but I don't know. Over here, I have a cabinet door that's going to hide it. Here, I don't. I may try to fix that a little bit better, and I may not. Anyway, same thing. Switch off, switch on. Now I have a plug there. Now I have an extra countertop. Yeah, what is that? About 2 foot by 3 foot? That doesn't sound like much. That's a great place for my mixer to go. That's a great place for my crock pot to go. Coffee pot. What is that thing? A milkshake maker. Anything. Of course, I store it mostly down there on the bottom, and I pull them out as I need them. I now have countertop. Almost doubled my countertop. When somebody else put this sink in, they put way too big of a sink and got rid of a little bit of countertop. But once again, who's going to be bellied up to this and trying to work way back here? Nobody. I still have to caulk. That's the thing that's going to take the time. I have to run caulking all down into each one of these, upper and lower, and then I have to caulk here. That's why you see paint, because I did put masking tape on it, but I didn't scrape back too far because that all gets caulked. You'll see that this is up a little higher. Once again, my cut was straight. This sink does lay a little bit low. As a matter of fact, if you look in here, you can see where the water's been laying in there. So I'm going to shim. I thought maybe I could pick that up. Before I caulk around the sink, I'm going to shim that up and try to level it a little bit, and it'll bring it up like this. Now, yeah, I didn't try to round it. I just squared it. That all gets caulked. It'll look great when it's done, and I'll show you when I'm done. So I think that's about it. I extended that over so no rotten potatoes can fall. Doors. Oh boy, doors. Okay, so we had 2 doors there, 2 doors there, 1 door there, 4 drawers there, plus a cutting board. 4 doors up there. That used to be a full-size door, and I had to cut it down. I'll show you that when it's done. And then up here, I think originally it had sliding doors, but those were no longer here. So at a yard sale, I ended up buying, let me walk over here and get a few of these out of my way. I ended up buying some solid wood doors for $1 a piece. The only reason I got them so cheap is because they have right here, it just needs to be put on a table saw and cut down. Easy job. I did go ahead and paint it white. The fronts are regular wood. So all I have to do is throw that on the table saw, even that edge up. 5-second job. $1 a piece. I bought 6 of them. I needed 4. Those are solid wood. I think they're maple, but I wouldn't swear to it. So anyways, as you can see, it's a raised panel, and it looks the same on the other side. And they just wasn't going to match. Because my other doors look like this. They're flat doors, hollow on the back. And I thought, how can I? So I cut some Luan, 2 inches to match the other, and I put them around the perimeter of this. I kind of like the look, and I'm going to go with the wall color in the middle and the nice bright white around the edge, which is not nice and bright now because I've had to put some spackling over top of it, which is drywall mud, to kind of hide a few little seams and stuff. And down there is where the old doorknob used to be, door pull, whatever. So I think it's really going to look good. That's why I didn't really paint it this way. I basically, when I used the roller, I just didn't hit in the center of those. But I'm going to paint those where they're white. I'm going to paint them white. That's just primer from when the door was bought. So I think it's really going to give it a good look. And that's why I did the white trim around this. I'm doing the white trim. Of course, once again, it's all got to be sanded down. I hit all the nails in, and then I fill them up with drywall mud. Good enough. And then I'll sand this down. This will all be white, and then it'll have a white one up above. And I think it's really going to give it a decent look. Once again, I know I'm not doing this the way that you guys would. I'm doing this on a very, very, very tight budget. I'll let you know when I'm all done. But I think this whole kitchen remodel is going to cost me less than $250. And that's with that, I bought that used at Restore, but it's in great shape. The paint, and I also have laminate flooring I've already purchased. I got to get the ceiling painted, but that's ceiling paint. I did move this light. That's something else I want to tell you. This light used to be over about right in here somewhere. The cabinet door hit it, and it was just kind of in an odd place. I understand why they did it, because I think at one time this might have had a built-in corner bar right there, and it was closer to the bar to allow lighting right over top. Well, nowadays, you buy a 2-light fixture and it's brighter and you hang it up here. So anyways, I'm probably blinding you guys with these lights. Anyways, I moved that to the center of how I wanted it to be centered. Not center of the 10 by 10, but I centered it from the cabinet to the wall, to the cabinet to out here to the edge of that cabinet. Yeah, my Christmas stuff's still up. Hey, see, I live like a college kid. I live on top of my refrigerator. Look at that. Is that not ridiculous? I'm having to eat cans of soup. Well, I just can't cook. We know how it goes. I can cook. I'm just not set up to cook right now. So that's about it. As you can hear, I have squeaky floors. So there it is. Yeah, I'm old, but that's not my joints squeaking. So I'm hoping tomorrow to run a couple screws in there, because there's no water, no electrical, no anything in this area. As long as I stay from this crack this way, I won't even hit the heat vent. So I'm hoping to be able to throw a couple screws in there and fix that tomorrow. Last but not least, I told you this place has 2 heat vents. See, you got one right there and one right there. Well, the reason they added the second vent is because the kitchen was always cold. They also did the same thing in the living room. Well, if they would have insulated correctly or not pulled out the insulation that's in there from the factory, then this wouldn't have happened. Now my feet stay nice and warm in here. That one right there is kind of under the refrigerator. Of course, it's not even where it goes, but I would say this much from here back is under the refrigerator. I don't need to, or I don't think I need to. So I'm thinking about closing that one up and just using that one over there. Of course, that one over there also hits the table leg. So I have no idea what to do. Anywhere I go from there to there is not a good location. The best location would be right there in front of that closet door. But then it's not far enough this way to efficiently heat. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But I may end up getting rid of that one and marking really good where it's at. That way, when I close it off and then I lay laminate over top of it, if I decide that, oops, I need that, I don't have to tear my laminate flooring back out. I can just cut a hole, keep going out until I get big enough square. And that'll also cut through the flooring that I'll have to put down, the subfloor, and I'll be able to add it back in no problem. So I'm not sure there yet. But anyways, there it is. I can't wait to show you when I get it done. I know right now it looks like crap, especially for 3 weeks worth of work. This is just ridiculous. And I'm not talking 2-3 hours a day here or there. I'm talking 8, 10, 12, 16-hour days. It's just so much rigging that had been done that I had to go back over and completely redo. Everything now is nice and straight and square. It was not before. I've had to redo everything. And then, of course, I built my little bread box thing over here. You know, keep it on top of the microwave. Of course, I can't do that now. But keep it on top of the microwave. Keep it on top of the refrigerator. It goes stale. So, there's its own little place. Who knows? Alright, anyways, this is General Vlog Videos. If you're interested in what I'm talking about, just go back and check out some of my old videos. I think there's going to be 3 or 4. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to follow me because I'm going to put all of these on when I'm done all at one time. So it's not like you're going to be able to follow me week by week by week by week. You know, you're just going to see them all at once. But if you haven't watched them in order, I'll try to order them when I upload them, you know, like Kitchen Remodel 1, Kitchen Remodel 2. So just, you know, kind of start on one and go. I keep seeing those spots up there where I accidentally got wall color on them. But tomorrow is the ceiling. And a few little things like I got to put this piece back on. And they never had any on the side. And about, well, you can see my line. About from this, over here is better. About from this line up, you can see from the stove. So I have extra countertop material, thanks to the people I got it from, that bought the place from. They had some extra. I'm going to add a couple of those, re-glue that one on. I have to either redo this whole one, which I may do if I got a long enough piece. If not, I'll cut it square here and splice it on and look great. Look good enough for me. And that's all I care about. Good enough for me. So anyways, right now this is where I eat. Hey, you can even see my food, my paper towels and everything on top of my flooring. I don't like living without a kitchen. My goals, my 5-year goal is to start buying houses and flipping them, but living in them while I'm doing it. Now that I'm single guy, you know, good bachelor pad, fun, I guess. Buying some places, fixing them up. I think I would want to do the kitchen and the living room before I ever moved in. At least the kitchen. The living room I can almost live without for a while. You know, I can pile up on my bed and watch TV. If the kitchen's already done and it's got a kitchen table, I can do everything there. Excuse me. But this kitchen being 3 weeks in, and I've still got probably 3 or 4 more days to go, it has really been an aggravation. Not being able to cook, not being able to clean my dishes properly. You know, my dishes right now consist of a cereal bowl and spoon, a plate and a fork, and a cup. And I did end up bringing my deep fryer in, and paper plates. I mean, I'm living like I'm in college, and I don't like that. I like to cook. I like to eat normal. I don't like to eat out. So anyways, there we are. Got to paint the ceiling tomorrow. Put them things on the side caps on the countertop. Like down in here, I got a little piece of wall I got to fix, and you can see down in there. I got to fix all of that. No problem. It can be done real quick. And then I have to start on doors. So hopefully at least get them pretty much done tomorrow. Well, hopefully all the way done tomorrow. And then Tuesday, start laying laminate. It's not going to work that easy. Excuse me. It's not going to work that easy. I'm going to be probably tomorrow just getting the little things done. Tuesday doing doors. Maybe Wednesday start getting laminate. I will be done by this weekend, I hope. 90% of it at least. It's going to take me hours just to do that caulking. Anyways, I've rambled on enough. And I'm rambling. That means my time's probably up. So, if you like this, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you can write it down in the comments because you're going to anyways. But I'll just delete you. I mean, it's that simple. I don't mind criticism. If you see something that I've done wrong, feel free to tell me. Hey, why don't you try this? Or did you think of this? Don't jump on here and tell me, oh, you're retarded and you're dumb and you don't know how to do this. I don't need all that. I've been on YouTube for a while now. I've already gotten those kind of comments. I just delete the people. But I'm all for giving me some advice. Absolutely. Just remember, when you give advice, I'm on a very, very, very tight budget. And I like to do dumb things like that backsplash. I'm not so sure if I like it or not, but it's there. It's going to stay. Anyways, rambling again. I'm out of here. Once again, general vlog videos. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Follow. We got a lot of exciting, and by we, I do mean me. I've got a lot of exciting videos coming up. I've been off of it for about a year. I'm going to get back into it hot and heavy. And just thank you for tagging along. Thank you.